What's going on, my dudes? It's your boy Andy here. So, welcome to another episode of Video History. Today we're going to talk about the 50s. Well, I think I told y'all that. I think I told y'all this, but I might guess I might as well do the 50s and 60s. Now, the 50s and 60s, it was an economic boom after World War II. The baby boomer generation. Now the 50s. Well, Truman served until, well, he served 2 terms after FDR died in 1945. Well, FDR almost completed his 4th term. Because of the war, FDR had to serve 4 terms. Well, he died in 1945 in Warm Springs, Georgia. Maybe someday I'll go there and film and talk about why FDR died. Now let's look at the 50s. The 50s, happy days. Excess production after the war. Seriously, also the space race between the United States and the USSR. This was during, of course, the Cold War, and we'll talk about some of the leaders in the Cold War. Well, first, we'll sidetrack it. Have you heard the Senator Joseph McCarthy? He started a communist witch hunt, and the Sim witch trial stories were based off McCarthyism. Well, this was during the early stages of the Cold War, because on the fear of communism being on the rise. Communism started way in the 1920s during the Soviet Union. It was during Lenin's leadership of the proletariat class, and to me, this was a dark day for the world because, in the 50s there was a major battle. Well, there were 2 major battles: the Vietnam War and the Korean War. We'll talk about the Korean War in the 60s. Now, Dwight D. Eisenhower, or Ike, if some of y'all grew up in the 40s after World War II, and you know Eisenhower, he was an Allied commander for World War II. Well, he was a general for NATO, and he enacted the Interstate Highway System Act of 1956. That was 4 months after my mom was born, so she was 4 months old at the time. And I'm telling you guys, that is pretty sweet for those of y'all who lived in the 50s. It was a simpler time. Now the 50s brought on another war. A war was during the Korean conflict and the Cold War. You guessed it, the Korean War. It was between the North, which was controlled by the USSR, and that was during Kim Il Sung's reign as supreme leader. For those of you who don't know who Kim Il Sung is, he was the first leader of North Korea from 1948 until 1992. I think it was 1997. I gotta take a drink. In the South, the South Korean government, supported by this country and the rest of NATO, scratch it. It was the United Nations. That was during Truman's presidency. It was between 1947 and 1950. It's between 1951 and 1953. And in the South, first South Korean president Syngman Rhee. Well, Sigmund Freud was an anti-communist. Well, if you don't believe me, I watched the Alternate History Hub's video about what is South Korea won the Korean War. Seriously, go check it out. So now back to the 50s. Seriously, it was during the time where I can't think of it right. No. Seriously, for people in the 50s, it was easy. An economic boom. Well, there were two economic booms. One in World War One and one in World War Two. Well, Ike was a very good president. He was a Republican, for Christ's sake. Well, Truman was kind of alright. At least it ended World War Two in the Pacific. Well, World War Two in Europe was over and done with. All I do was nuke Japan, and that was it. Well, we discovered atomic weapons during Project Manhattan, and then the war right there. If we send ground troops into Japan, it'll be a whole nother conflict. I'm telling you that. So that was the 50s. Stay tuned for the 60s. Until then, I'm Andy Einsman, and this was Video History. Be sure to subscribe for more video history videos. Like, comment, turn on notifications, keep it awesome. Follow me on Twitter at Andy Einsman. And plus, I'll be doing a Q&A response video sometime next week. So be sure to submit your questions in the comment section below, and next week I'll be responding to your questions. Besides, I think I can do like a 3-part Q&A video. I'll be doing 3 Q&A videos sometime next week. So be sure to submit your questions. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, dudes. See you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I sure as hell did. So until then, I hope your history class watched this video. Seriously, I think I'm gonna be doing pretty good here. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace out, my dudes.